Okay, so you know how sometimes during the holidays, family will ask like those same questions over and over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, when are you gonna settle down, for like the 100th time?
Oh, exactly.
Or, someone who wants to get into like a big political debate right before you're gonna have dessert.
Yeah. It's like all this stuff is kind of bubbling under the surface, like traditions and like expectations and just like all this family history.
It's like a pressure cooker.
Yeah. Like a pressure cooker of emotions.
So that's why we're looking at this Lunarized blog post, right?
Yes.
You wanted to dive into this one, how to navigate holiday family interactions with conscious awareness.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this could be helpful for a lot of people because you know, around the holidays, family stuff can be really tough.
For sure. And what I liked about what Lunarize is saying here is that it's not about like changing your family or avoiding the conversation.
Right. It's like, how do you kind of like move through it
Exactly.
with more grace and self-awareness?
Right. So the first step one that Lunarize talks about is becoming the observer.
Yeah,
And it sounds kind of like mindfulness in a way.
absolutely.
Like instead of getting swept up in like whatever is happening,
Yeah.
you kind of take a step back.
It's like instead of immediately reacting, you just notice like, oh, this is happening. Like, Aunt Carol's making a comment about, whatever, your job or whatever.
Okay, so let's say I'm like internally freaking out because someone's like criticizing my career choices or something.
Hmm.
But I'm sipping my eggnog, trying to stay calm.
Right.
But what am I supposed to be observing?
So you're observing how your body's reacting. Like, notice. Is your jaw clenched? Is your pulse racing? Are you feeling that kind of like heat rising in your chest? That kind of thing.
Oh, right.
It's about recognizing those physical sensations that are tied to our emotional triggers.
Yeah.
Because when you can notice that, you create a space between the feeling and like how you react to that feeling.
Yeah. Like a pause.
Exactly. Exactly.
It makes me think of this time that my grandma was like criticizing my fashion choices, which are pretty out there.
Uh-huh.
And I was like getting so frustrated. I could feel myself like getting red and ready to just like snap back at her. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be observing. So I like took a breath, noticed my shoulders were tense, and it actually helped me like not totally lose it.
It's powerful, right?
Yeah.
It's really short-circuiting that like automatic fight or flight response.
Right.
Because, when we feel threatened, we tend to just react impulsively. But by choosing to observe instead, we kind of take back control.
So we've observed our reactions. What about step 2? Lunarize calls it changing your awareness. So is that like hitting the reset button in your mind?
It's about consciously shifting your focus. Like instead of focusing on like the annoyance or the frustration, you focus on something else,
Okay.
like your breath or like relaxing your body.
So if someone makes a comment about like, whatever your trigger is,
Right.
instead of like letting the frustration take over, you kind of take a breath and like release the tension.
Exactly. Like you're hitting the pause button in your mind.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we're interrupting that like flood of stress hormones, and it gives us a chance to choose a response that comes from like our values.
I like that. But this all sounds really like Zen,
Wow.
How realistic is this to do in the middle of like a family gathering?
I know.
Where people are being loud and opinionated.
That's where step 3 comes in.
Okay.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
So Lunarize says that you should respond by saying calmly, thank you for sharing your truth.
Yeah.
And a genuine I love you.
Wait, hold on. So I'm supposed to thank them
Yeah.
for like giving me unsolicited advice or like a backhanded compliment?
I know. It might sound counterintuitive, but
Really?
it's not about agreeing with them.
Okay.
It's not about letting them walk all over you. It's just acknowledging their perspective
Right.
without letting it like dictate how you feel.
So I'm not getting defensive. I'm not like snapping back. I'm just choosing something that's going to keep things calm.
Exactly. It's choosing a response that shows respect, even if you don't agree with what they're saying.
Okay. I'm kind of intrigued, but like, what if they don't suddenly become like enlightened?
Right.
By me saying that.
Even if their behavior doesn't change, you've done something really important.
What's that?
You've protected your own inner peace.
Right.
And you've responded in a way that aligns with your values.
Okay, yeah. Like not getting into a huge fight is definitely one of my values.
Exactly. So it's about empowering yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about controlling other people.
Got it.
And that brings us to this really fascinating concept that Lunarize mentions, the law of vibration.
The law of vibration. I've heard people talk about this, but I'm not really sure like what it means practically.
Yeah. Basically, it's this idea that our Energy, like our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, can actually influence our reality.
So, like, if I'm always reacting in a negative way or defensively, I'm putting that energy out there and I'm just going to get more of that back.
Yeah. It can create kind of a cycle of negativity,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but when we choose a more compassionate response, we can shift our energy and, potentially even influence the energy of like the people around us.
So, like, even if it doesn't change the other person,
Yeah.
at least it changes me.
At least it changes you.
Okay, I'm curious. If, like, everyone at a holiday gathering actually, like, tried to do this,
Oh, wow.
what do you think would happen?
I think it would be amazing. Imagine a gathering where people felt safe to like express themselves
Yeah.
authentically, even if they disagree with each other. And, instead of feeling like they had to like walk on eggshells,
Right?
people would have like respectful conversations.
That sounds like a different holiday than the ones I'm used to.
I know.
But I like it.
It sounds pretty nice, right?
Yeah, it does.
I think shifting our responses can really transform those family dynamics.
It's not about forcing anyone to change, right?
No. It's about empowering yourself to create like a better experience for everyone.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this all fits together. It's
Yeah.
not just about, like, surviving the holidays. It's
Yeah.
about realizing that, like, how I respond can actually have an impact.
Exactly. Our actions, our words, even our thoughts, they create these ripple effects that go way beyond ourselves.
It was pretty mind-blowing. So as we're heading into the holiday season, what's the biggest thing you think people should remember from this Lunarize blog post?
You have the power to create a more positive and harmonious experience, not just for yourself, but for your whole family.
Wow.
And it all starts with that awareness, compassion, and understanding that like our energy has a real impact on the people around us.
I love that. This has given me like a whole new way of thinking about family gatherings.
I'm glad.
So we've covered a lot in this first part, from like noticing our reactions to the law of vibration.
Yeah.
But there's more to talk about,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely. We just scratched the surface. Lunarize goes into like how we can actually use holiday gatherings as opportunities for growth, not just for ourselves, but for like the whole family.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be exploring in the next part of our deep dive, so stay tuned.
It's cool how Lunarize takes these like individual tools
Yeah.
and then kind of zooms out
Right.
and looks at the bigger picture
Yeah.
of like transforming the whole holiday gathering.
Okay.
They see these gatherings as opportunities for growth,
Okay.
not just for ourselves, but like for the whole family.
So it's like taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
But how do we even start to do that? Like, how do we shift the whole energy of a gathering?
Well, it starts with remembering that like everyone at the gathering
Yeah.
is bringing their own stuff to the table,
Right.
like their own experiences and perspectives.
Yeah.
And those things, they color how they see the world.
Right.
So like even those offhand comments or questions that people make, they're often coming from like their own anxieties or insecurities.
So, like, maybe my Aunt Carol, who's always asking about when I'm going to get married,
Right.
isn't actually trying to be mean.
Yeah.
She's just worried about me, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe she had a hard time finding a partner or something.
Yeah.
And she's projecting that onto you.
But Lunarize is saying that their words aren't really about me.
Mm-hmm.
They're more about their own stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's easy to take those comments personally
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and let them affect how we feel about ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we can remember that those comments are coming from like their own baggage,
Okay.
then it allows us to respond with more compassion.
Yeah.
We can choose not to let those words like define us
Right.
or control how we feel.
So, like, this all connects back to that law of vibration, right?
Yeah.
If I react defensively,
Yeah.
I'm just, like, throwing more negative energy out there.
Exactly. You're feeding that cycle of negativity.
Okay, got it.
But when we respond with love and understanding,
Mm-hmm.
even when someone's being judgmental,
Okay.
we're not just protecting our own peace.
Uh-huh.
We might actually be inspiring them to shift a little bit too.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm imagining myself at Thanksgiving dinner,
Uh-huh.
and my uncle is going on a rant about politics.
Yeah.
And I say something like, "Thank you for sharing your truth. I love you."
Yeah.
Do you really think that's going to change his mind?
It might not change his political views,
Yeah.
but it could change the tone of the conversation.
Oh, okay.
Instead of getting into an argument,
Right.
you're creating a space for like respectful disagreement
Yeah.
where everyone feels heard, even if they don't see eye to eye.
I'm not adding fuel to the fire. I'm trying to, like, calm things down.
Exactly.
But doesn't that make me seem kind of passive?
It's not about being passive.
Okay.
It's about consciously choosing a response
Yeah.
that's in line with your values.
Yeah.
And remember, you're not responsible for changing anyone's mind.
Yeah.
You're only responsible for how you show up.
And honestly, just staying calm
Yeah.
when other people are losing it,
Right.
that feels pretty powerful.
It is. And who knows, maybe your example will inspire other people to
Right.
start approaching those conversations with more awareness too.
It's like that ripple effect we were talking about.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like, be the change you want to see in the world.
Love that. So it's not about changing other people.
Right.
It's about empowering myself to create a better experience.
Yeah.
For everyone.
For everyone.
This is making me feel a lot less stressed about the holidays.
I'm glad.
It's starting to feel less like surviving the holidays and more like enjoying them.
Yeah. I love that.
Is that even possible?
I think so. What if you went into those interactions with curiosity
Okay.
instead of judgment?
Yeah.
Like, really try to listen instead of just reacting,
Yeah.
and approach everything with love instead of resentment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little more optimistic about the holidays already. It's
word.
less dread and more
Yeah.
excitement.
Yes. That's the spirit.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about joy and connection
Right.
and celebrating the people we love,
Yeah.
even with all their quirks and complexities.
So well said. As we're wrapping up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
what's one question you'd want to leave people with?
Think about one interaction that you're anticipating might be kind of challenging this year.
Okay.
Like maybe it's a conversation with a certain family member,
Right.
or a topic that always seems to lead to tension.
Yeah.
How could you use these tools, observing your reactions, shifting your awareness,
Right.
responding with love,
Yeah.
to create a more positive experience for yourself,
Okay.
and maybe even inspire a shift in the whole family dynamic?
That's a great question to think about. And you don't have to figure this out on your own. There are so many resources out there.
Yeah.
Lunarize's blog has lots of tips and tricks.
Definitely.
So for now, we're going to take a quick break
Okay.
and be back in a few minutes to finish up our deep dive into Lunarize's wisdom.
All right. So we've been talking about how to deal with those tricky family dynamics during the holidays.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get caught up in wanting everything to be perfect,
Well, absolutely.
The perfect food, the perfect decorations, the perfect family moments.
Like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. But that's just not reality.
No, real families are messy.
Exactly. And that's why I like what Lunarize is saying about self-awareness and compassion.
Yeah.
It's not about pretending everything's perfect.
Yeah.
It's about being real.
Yeah.
And navigating those tricky situations with grace.
And remembering that we're all going to mess up sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There will be times when those old patterns come back up.
Totally.
Or when someone says something that just pushes your buttons.
Right.
And you might lose your cool.
It happens to the best of us. It's all part of the process.
It's like learning to dance,
Yeah. I like that.
You're going to step on some toes. You're going to miss a beat.
Right.
You might even fall flat on your face.
Exactly.
But the more you practice, the better you get.
Yeah. And even if you're the only one in your family who's actively working on this stuff, it still makes a difference.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Your calm energy, your thoughtful responses.
Yeah.
Even just expressing love genuinely.
Right.
Those things have a ripple effect.
I love that. It's be the change you want to see.
Exactly.
A holiday dinner table.
Exactly. So even if you can't change other people,
right,
you can change how you show up.
Yeah.
And that can change the whole dynamic.
It's like planting a seed, right?
Yeah.
You might not see the results right away, but with time and patience.
And a little love it.
Yeah.
Something beautiful can grow.
And even if it doesn't,
Yeah.
even if nobody else changes, at least I stayed true to myself.
Exactly. You've protected your own peace.
Right.
And that's a huge accomplishment.
That's huge. All right. To everyone listening who's getting ready for the holidays,
Yeah.
we're sending you warm wishes, lots of patience, and a little bit of that Lunarize magic.
Uh-huh.
May your gatherings be full of laughter and connection, and maybe even some unexpected moments of growth and understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And hey, if you find yourself in a tough spot,
Yeah.
just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Remember to thank them for sharing their truth.
Right.
And tell them you love them.
Yeah.
You never know. It could change the whole evening.
Happy holidays, everyone. We'll be back in the new year with more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics.
Can't wait.
Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep those mindful bubbles strong.